5 jours, fini.
Oh!
It is too much. 7 months in the bush.
7 mois. 5 jours, fini. Let's go.
Pourquoi vous agissez comme ça, à 5 jours de la plage? Me traitez comme ça, comme je suis un petit bandit. Vraiment sûr, hors de contrôle. Vous êtes tous maintenant comme ça. Moi, je vais traiter tout le monde comme il faut maintenant. Vous avez bien fini la mission là. Bien. C'est intelligent de faire ça. Vous avez fait 6 mois en brousse. 6 mois. Et vous allez gaspiller tout ça pour 1 semaine. C'est bon? C'est intelligent ça? C'est intelligent de gaspiller tout ce que vous avez fait pour 1 semaine. Vous ne pouvez pas concentrer sur le boulot pendant 1 semaine pour finir cette mission. Vous ne pouvez pas. C'est complètement dingue ça. 1 semaine. Et vous allez tous bouder comme si vous allez au bout du monde là, après 6 mois. Non, mais c'est pas possible. C'est pas sérieux ça. C'est vraiment impossible.
A night-long discussion signals reason may prevail.
All they talk about is how frustrated they are. I think it's just been away for so long.
My mission is to get to the beach. My mission is not to make my men happy. If the entire team leaves tomorrow, it has no impact on me because I will take a machete and I will walk to the beach.
Of course, there never really was much of a choice. In the end, the fastest way out of their misery is to follow Faye to the beach.
.65 kilometers to the beach. I'm just soaking in the forest still. I don't want it to end. I mean, I don't want to leave the forest. We were stalling, soaking up every last minute of the forest before the exit. It is blowing my mind. There was this enormous elephant trail that led us closer and closer, faster and faster, almost too quickly to the beach. He has no idea what the ocean is. None whatsoever. I started to get butterflies in my stomach, and then suddenly the walk was over. Baby! We'd been walking in the woods in our own little world for 15 months, and now it was over. I was overwhelmed. Viens voir. I could see Bebe had the same feeling. We'd come so far for so long, it had become kind of a way of life. Venez, on va toucher la mer.
For Bebe, it is a touch of the miraculous.
It is the work of God.
After 15 punishing months, it seems Faye has made good on his promise. They have made it all the way to the beach.
Just like total religious experience. No other way to describe it. Out there. Bébé! Bien fait. Tu es arrivé. Regarde les autres. Ils arrivent déjà.
What these men of Africa's interior can only have imagined, what they call the Great River of Salty Water, washes up at their feet.
Never been on the beach before. This is the first time. mom and dad. I'm on the beach. Yes, sir. Just got here. This is the end of the line. It's a long walk. Got big old tears in my eyes.
And I think we have done something to capture this life that no one's ever seen. This is what National Geographic's all about, is showing you the hidden corners. And this is certainly one of the most hidden corners on Earth. And it's really special.
My hope is that we can bring millions of people closer to these forests through all that we've seen and learned.
One of the greatest African expeditions in recent memory reaches the sea. Dr. Michael Fay has managed to step through every awe-inspiring inch of a scientific expedition he calls the Mega Transect.
After more than a year in the heart of the African forest, Mike Fay returns to the States and his mom and dad.
Jesus, it's so great to see you. Right? The Irish have come a long way. Terrific. I'm glad you didn't shave. That makes it great.
I never do.
Terrific.
How are you? Is it a mustache or?
No, it's just growth.
Mike has come a long way from the concrete jungles of California and New Jersey, where he grew up.
We're very proud of him, of course, and as far as what drives him, I haven't the foggiest notion. But when he makes up his mind to do something, he just does it.
Mike's parents have been following his exploits in the pages of National Geographic magazine, which features the work of photographer Nick Nichols. Fay and Nichols are dedicated conservationists. So dedicated, they decided to plan a modern-day sojourn across the heart of the Central African forest. National Geographic and the Wildlife Conservation Society joined forces to sponsor the expedition. The idea was to document and catalog everything they saw, and have a National Geographic television crew chronicle the journey. Why? Because Fay and Nichols want the world to know just what it's about to lose. They called this 460-day marathon the Mega Transect.
Okay, here's what we still have to pack up.
7 tons of supplies, 2,300 rolls of film, 500 videotapes, 7,200 AA batteries, and 3,000 sweet snacks.
We got red beans and rice. We got lots of goodies.
And you got 13 guys going through the wildest parts of Africa, and you need to supply these guys with everything they could possibly want.
How do you have pizza without your Parmesan? Huh?
But you don't just carry 7 tons of supplies through the jungle. So how do you get it all from one point to another?
By hook or by crook, you get them there. And that kind of embodies the logistical nightmare of the Mega Transect.
There were 28 supply drops, each about a 3-week walk apart.
The bridge is broken over there, so we cannot go by car anymore. So
Tomo Nishihara, an ecologist, was responsible for coordinating the drops that sustained the expedition along the way.
He did the hardest work of any of us, me or Mike. Tomo did things that with no glory.
He did what I call the anti-megatransect. He looped around to every supply stop. You know, he's dropping bombs of food out of these airplanes in unknown locations except for a GPS point.
Ouh là là, on est arrivé. Hein? Yeah. It's somewhere right here, Nick.
This is it, man. There's the bags, baby.
Yeah!
Finding the supplies was one thing, but carrying all this stuff was another.
Perfectly intact. No problem.
Everybody had to carry the means of their own survival, over 60 pounds per person.
I would say the Africans, the guys that were with me on this trip, are the most important individuals.
Faye has worked with these men for many years. They know these forests and help guide Faye along the way.
These guys are my life. They're people I've worked with and been friends with for 20 years, you know.
You've got to be a good friend to walk through leech-infested swamps with a man who likes talking to animals. Helping bring Faye's conservation campaign to the minds of millions is Robin Freeman, a producer for National Geographic Television. She was in the Peace Corps and taught English as a foreign language in Cameroon. This assignment was an opportunity for her to get back to Africa, and it would take her to places few have ever been. For cameraman Phil Allen, being both the eyes and ears in the forest was a full-time job.
Well, it's work, but it's fun. To get paid to do this is really nice. But that's not to say that I don't deserve what I get paid.
This was the last we ever saw of David Quammen.
David Quammen is a scientific writer working with National Geographic.
In my notebook is called Last Camp.
Ultimately, he will write 3 articles and a book about the megatransect.
I guess people won't think you're making this stuff up anymore.
I always make it up.
So what was a day in the life like on the megatransect? First thing in the morning, you do your exercises. And then you just walk, and walk, and walk. During the day, Mike records everything. Everything.
You want to describe that again? How are you going to write that down?
Elephant dung, very fresh, so it'll be marked for posterity.
Even the deadliest creatures don't escape Faye's camera.
Big one. Holy sh**. Ah la la. Excuse me. That's a big snake.
After yet another day of interminable walking, it's time to make yourself a home.
20 minutes, you're basically home sweet home. Got the old tarp up, got the fire made, and the food will be hot on the fire very soon. Oh la la. This is the luxury meal of luxury meals, though. Pasta primavera with
sausage patties.
The sausage patties. It fills you right up.
And sometimes, even in the jungle, it's possible to have dinner and a movie. Nick and his assistant, John Brown, watch a DVD and enjoy a late-night snack. On a real good night, there may be time for a shower and even a little reading. Now multiply that by 460 days. Everyone spent a lot of time away from home.
It's just a better picture. I mean,
So how does one balance work and family?
y'all are voting on this?
Yeah, that one's good.
I like the trash.
Nick's wife, Reba Peck, is an artist. They've been together for 25 years. They have two sons, Ian, who's 19 years old, and Eli, who's 12 years old.
That's the question people always ask me. How do you keep your family together traveling so much? And I've probably got the strongest family of anybody I know. It's just 100% support. Always has been.
I am proud of him, you know, and I respect what he's doing, and I support him in what he's doing, and I believe in it. He's obsessed with it.
In obsessing over his passion, Nick has sacrificed plenty.
98.2 and counting. Now I know who you look like. Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now.
Well, the cost to me is probably years on my life and years on my physical career.
After all the pain it took to finish the mega transect, the work isn't over.
Okay.
Now it's time to get the word out.
Budgets.
There are television shows to produce, talk show interviews to give,
It's the last place on earth.
They don't know about conserving.
lectures to present,
Comprehend this money.
and a mega amount of photographs to edit.
I shot 2,000 rolls of film. We've made 3 magazine stories out of that, which would be 72,000 times I pushed the button or if the shutter clicked. So you cut 72,000 down to 60, which get published in the magazine.
What you're left with are astounding images.
Working hard to try to move you through.
Editor Bill Allen takes a last look before the magazine hits the newsstands.
And so the text is done in 2 wells, here and here.
Good. It's a great story to read straight through. That's a good decision.
Thanks.
Now that the final magazine story is laid out, is that all there is?
Well, the idea is to put together this very modern, multi-dimensional, multimedia database that'll be on the web. If you want to go from day 1 up to day 460 step by step, you can do that too. It's very complex, and it's a huge job.
Fay and Nichols represent a new kind of conservation, one that is not served from behind a desk.
Slick as ice.
We certainly have done what we set out to do.
We're back with Nick Nichols and Mike Fay.
And we have to accomplish something outside of entertainment. We can't just leave it at television programs and magazine stories.
Fay and Nichols have risked their lives to save a vanishing African forest. And their marathon trek may turn out to be one of the greatest expeditions of the 21st century. And Mike Fay was there every step of the way.